Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. In today's lecture, we will discuss questions given at the end of our lesson, The Rule of the Road, written by A.J. Gardner. And we will try our best to give answers of these questions briefly. It is page number 146 of your textbook, Chinar 2nd. Please open your textbook and listen carefully and try to learn the answers of these questions. The question number 1 is, the writer describes the old woman in the middle of the road being of no small peril to herself. This means take the correct option. There are three options given and we have to take the correct option. Option number 1 is, she was in a dangerous frame of mind. Option second is, she was running the risk of being run over by the traffic. Option 3 is, she was about to run over people on the road. As in the lesson, I have seen that the woman was walking in the middle of the road when she was asked by fellow passengers to walk on the footpath or pavement which is meant for foot passengers, but she refused and insisted on walking in the middle of the road. Thus, she was running the risk of being run over by the traffic. It is correct option. For question number 2 is, the writer says, individual liberty leads to social anarchy. Do you agree, disagree? Give reason for your answer. It is the writer's statement in the lesson that individual liberty leads to social anarchy. If you agree with this statement, then you have to give reason for your answer. We definitely agree with the statement of the writer that individual liberty leads to social anarchy. Because in the lesson we saw that the old lady was walking down the middle of the road, and when she was asked to walk on the pavement or footpath meant for passengers, but she insisted on walking where she liked. Thus she got in everybody else's way and caused social anarchy, chaos and confusion. Our liberty of action has to be restricted by other people's liberty to ensure that we do not cause social anarchy. Liberty is not only a personal affair but a social contract too. If we ignore others' interests, they will ignore us. This will disturb the social order. Now there is question number 3. Why should we not feel offended when stopped by a traffic policeman? A traffic policeman on duty on a highway is not a symbol of tyranny, but he is a symbol of peace. He is a symbol of liberty. He is here to curtail the liberties of some, to ensure that the liberties of all others are preserved. If we drive as we like, there will be traffic jam. The traffic policeman on duty there is to allow smooth movement of traffic and passengers on the road. Now there is question number 4. What is difference in the liberty one has in dressing to please oneself and in playing the trombone? It's a musical instrument at night. Yes, there is vast difference between liberty and dressing, because we are at liberty in dressing. We can dress as we please, because in dressing we are not encroaching upon the rights of others. We are not trampling liberty of others. But in case of trombone, playing at night, we are definitely disturbing the liberty of those people who want a sound sleep, who want to sleep. Thus, such liberty has to be checked. However, we can play trombone on a mountain top away from human habitation, because playing there we are not disturbing other people's liberties. Now there is question number 5. The truth is that I never read blue books for pleasure. I read them for the very humble purpose of turning an honest penny out of them. What does the writer mean when he says he never read blue books for pleasure? Here, what this statement, by this statement, the writer means that he was not reading blue books merely for entertainment, but he was reading blue books keenly with a purpose, and his purpose, his aim was to make an honest penny out of them. His aim was to get information from the books so that this information would help him to perform his job well, and in this way he could earn a better living. Now there is part number B. What is a blue book? Blue book is a book containing official records. Why does he read them? The author reads them in order to make an honest penny out of them, and in order to make money by reading them. Now there is part number C. Explain. Turning an honest penny out of them means to get information from the books so that so that he could utilize this information in performing his job and thus make money in an honest way, in a legal way. Question 6. As I wrestled with claws and sections, his voice rose like a gale. It rose like a gale, it is a simile. Gale is a strong wind. Who does his refer to? The pronoun his refers to the speaker who disturbed author in his study in the railway carriage. B part. What does this description imply? This description implies that the man who talked loudly deprived the author to read the blue book. Now there is part number C. What were the topics being discussed by the speaker? The speaker was discussing his family history, deeds of his sons in war, the attitude and behavior of generals, and politics. Now, part number D is, were they interesting? These topics were not interesting. These topics were boring. What was their effect on the writer? The writer was very badly disturbed, and so he could not hang on to read the blue book. Now, part number C is, the writer has used another comparison to convey his feelings about the speaker's voice. Quote the line from the lesson. What is such a comparison called? The line from the lesson is, it was like a barrel organ. Barrel organ is a musical instrument groaning out some uninteresting song of long ago. Such a comparison is called simile. Now, question number 7 is, by what right, my dear sir, do you go along our highway uttering the hideous curse on all who impede your path? Who is the writer discussing in the line? Here, it is the loud, and here the writer is discussing the traveler who spoke loudly and pompously in the compartment to another man accompanying him. By his speaking thus on the common place topics, he disturbed the writer while he was engaged in reading a blue book quietly. Now, what is the hideous curse referred to in the line? The hideous curse referred to in this line is the loud and pompous talking of the man in the train about uninteresting topics that disturbed our writer in his study. What is this kind of behavior called? This kind of behavior is called ungentlemanly behavior. Now there is part number D. Explain. Impede your path. Impede your path means to block or obstruct your advancement in action or speech, etc. Now there is question number 8. It is the little habit of commonplace intercourse that make up the great sum of life and sweeten or make better the journey. Part number 1 is, what is the journey being referred to here? The journey being referred to here is the journey of life. Part B is, how can the journey be made sweet? The journey of life can be made sweet by being gentlemanly in our behavior, mindful of others' feelings and rights as well as liberties. We can live happily by accommodating others with regard to the likes and dislikes, interests and rights of others. So part number C is, what makes the journey better? The journey of life becomes better if we do not have enough consideration for the interests, feelings and rights of others around us. Part number D is, explain commonplace intercourse. This is a very important question. This question has also been asked in 2008 in GK board examination. Commonplace intercourse means social activities of people in their day-to-day life. It means social behavior involving each one caring for the feelings, interests, and rights of others to ensure that life is free from all sorts of frictions. When social liberty is safeguarded by everybody, by subordinating individual liberty, life becomes smooth and pleasant. Thanks, stay blessed, have a nice day.